Hello, my name is Mrs. Black, and I am part of the Social Studies Department, and I teach a number of different classes. Let's start with 7th grade Social Studies. 7th grade Social Studies, all 7th graders will take Social Studies with me. We do different projects, hands-on activities, collaboration, and we've been focusing a lot on writing this year as well. So that is something that you will have to take, and you will take that with me. I also teach economics, and there are two formats in which you can take econ. You can take it in person, regular class format where we do there's some discussion, but there's a lot of information that I provide to you. And then the other option is a hybrid econ, which is similar to the hybrid government courses that Mr. Jones offers and hybrid English that we've offered in the past as well, where students don't have to be in my class every day, but they will work on modules. So it's a course that requires a lot of self-discipline. Like if you were interested in working from home, this would be some good training for you. But we do meet in person at least once a week. But then other than that, you can work on other items in school, like if you were a part of Apache or TP or art club or something along those lines, you could work in those during that. So with econ, hybrid or regular, it doesn't matter. We look at the decision-making process, why people make the decisions that they do when it comes to purchasing and selling, and why businesses make the decisions that they do when it comes to producing and selling. So we take a big look at that. We also look at taxes and how those help to fund governments and how they affect you as well. So those are some of the big ones that we discuss in econ. I also teach government, and government is in person. We discuss a lot of the functions of all local, state, and federal government levels. So you'll get to know some of the people who are running your community, running your state, and then running the federal government. We do take a couple field trips in this class, visiting the State House. We visited the courthouse. We went to the Historical Museum uptown. There are different things that we do to get out in the community. Also, a big part of this class is our civic responsibility, so there is some community service involved with that. We do look at some of the major Supreme Court cases, and we also do a pretty big election unit as well. And the class last year had worked on a candidate forum. They organized that and created that. So we do look to do some type of project-based learning in this class to help to extend your knowledge of the government.
Hi, I'm Mr. Jones. I'm going to talk quickly about the different classes that I teach. I'll start with World History. World History is typically a class that freshman students take, and in that class we start with ancient civilizations, going all the way back to the Neolithic Revolution, all the way to present, and as many things as we can fit in between. In that class we do basic assignments all the way to semester-long projects, and again, everything in between. There's no real prerequisite, just one of the first history courses that you take here in high school. One thing that I would like to do more of in world history is a better job of preparing students for their later classes as juniors and seniors, and gear them up if they are going to take ACP American History with me, so a little college prep work in there as well. Speaking of which, the other class that I offer is American History, and this is an Indiana University ACP course, so it is a dual credit course. The prerequisite there is that you have World History first. It is a class that normally juniors will take. In that class, we do college level work, so we look at lots and lots of primary and secondary documents and ask lots and lots of questions. Some of the assignments that we do in that class are actually required by the university, so we do some research assignments, we do some analytical writing. Those are the major assignments, in addition to big tests as well. But it's definitely worth, I think, the time and the energy that you have to put into that class. You secure, if you succeed there, in getting a total of 6 college credits, and as of right now, those courses are free to take, which is a really big deal. So save money, get college credits, and learn a little bit more about how to think critically. The other class that I offer is American Government. I offer that as a hybrid course, so that means sometimes we meet in person, other times you're doing your own thing on your own. And again, there are very basic weekly assignments in that class as you learn about the basic principles of American government, all the way up to a large semester project or two, depending on how all things play out there as far as numbers and participation is concerned. That is a class that is typically taken by our senior students. Really, in all of these classes, what I'd like to continue to do and develop and do a better job of is the work of historians, where we're asking lots and lots of questions and diving into sources, primary and secondary sources, to see what they are suggesting and what they tell us about the past. And it's not so much, hopefully, about me standing in front of you and telling you what it is that you need to think, but we do exercises that help you get better in how to think. And that is the short version of the classes that I offer. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mr. Purden. I teach 8th grade social studies and then U.S. history at the high school level. In 8th grade social studies, we will be focusing on early American settlement and then looking at history at different periods all the way through the Civil War. In that class, we use a lot of primary sources to develop thoughts and ideas. We question everything, and we do a lot of group work. We use an online textbook called Digital History for most of our textbook readings. If you're interested in that class, you really don't have an option, I guess I should say. Everyone has to take it as an 8th grader, but I hope that you're excited to join me for that class and learn about some American history. For U.S. history, we briefly look at some early American history, but really we hit the ground running with the Civil War and then look at different periods throughout history all the way through post 9/11, so mostly some current events there at the end of the year. One of the big projects we do in the second semester is called an un-essay project. It is exactly that. It's everything but an essay, and you work on it for the entire semester. So last year, people made some food dishes and made a recipe book. Others did clay models and kind of collaborated in their art class with that as well. We use the online textbook, The American Yop. All your readings are digital and online, so you have access to them all the time. Again, a lot of group work, and there's a lot of independence in that class. I try to think of myself as more of a facilitator in that class and help guide you to find answers, not necessarily just give you them. So if you like to question things and discover new things, this would be a great course for you. I look forward to seeing you in my classes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Zimmers, and I teach biology and anatomy and physiology here at Union City Junior Senior High School. I've been here going on 31 years, so I like what I do, and what I teach is life science, and Biology 1 is a class that all freshmen take. There is an honors Biology 1, which some kids take who have maybe more academic goals in mind and so forth, but that class is a required class, but we talk about all different aspects of life science, everything from ecology to evolution. It's just kind of a well-rounded curriculum, and I think the kids who really put in the time do quite well with it. But I'll see all freshmen eventually in my class. The other class I teach is anatomy and physiology, which is typically juniors and seniors. Higher level, but it's not an ACP course. You do get a lot of information to help you learn possibly what it would be like to go into nursing or other medical fields. We talk about different body systems. We do some activities, some labs. One of the big events in the spring is we dissect a fetal pig. It's a good mammal to compare to human anatomy, so we spend quite a bit of time with that. And the kids can go on, obviously, to further and bigger things, but I think a lot of kids who take this do get a foundation to go on into maybe nursing or another aspect of the medical field. But I look forward to seeing you guys. Mr. Zimmer saying goodbye.
We're already recording.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Mr. Zakel. I'm a science teacher, and I teach 3 different courses. I teach Chemistry 1 and ICP, Integrated Chemistry Physics, and I also teach the ACP Chemistry course. That's a dual credit college course. Okay, so which course are you eligible for? Which one should you take? If you're a freshman Right now, you are taking biology. That's what all freshmen take. As a sophomore, you choose between Chemistry 1 or Integrated Chemistry Physics. I teach both of those classes, so you have to deal with me either way. Now, if it were up to me, I would recommend you take Chemistry 1. And the reason I say that is because I really like chemistry. A lot of my students are aware that I didn't originally train to become a chemistry teacher, but they needed a chemistry teacher, so I started doing it, and I found out I really like it. I like it, and a lot of students like it because it's a cool system in which everything fits together really well. Okay, and so it's kind of satisfying that way. It does involve some work. There's some math involved. There's a little bit of memorization involved. There's a lot of problem solving involved. But generally, it's pretty interesting stuff. And again, because everything fits together so nicely, it's very satisfying. Now, you don't have to take Chemistry 1. You could also choose Integrated Chemistry Physics instead. That's also a very good course. That one's more of a mix of physics, and in the second half of the year, we do some chemistry as well. So physics involves dealing with things like forces and motion and energy. And so we talk about those kinds of issues a lot. Again, there's some problem solving involved, some calculation involved, but that one tends to be a little bit less math focused than Chemistry 1 is. One of the highlights of the fall semester for that class is making mousetrap cars, which is kind of a fun project. Okay, now if you're a sophomore and you're in Chemistry 1 this year, then you're eligible to take ACP Chemistry next year. ACP Chemistry is for juniors or seniors, and it's kind of like Chemistry 2, only you get college credit for it through Indiana University. And so we review a lot of the same topics that we studied in Chemistry 1, only we take them a little further. We go a little bit deeper. You're expected to be much more independent in that class in terms of getting the work done and learning the material. A lot of my students find that a much more interesting class even than Chemistry 1 because we get to do a lot of labs. Because at IU, it's partly a lecture course, a regular classroom course, but there's also a lab component. So throughout the year, we do 10 or 12 pretty high-level chemistry labs in which you're getting to work with some pretty interesting equipment and glassware and sometimes Bunsen burners and fire and heat and that sort of thing. So it gets to be really interesting. You get to do some of the hands-on.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. For those of you that will be taking 7th grade science, we do lots of interesting things. The first semester we'll be doing 2 Project Lead the Way courses. The first one is Automation and Robotics, where we will be building pull toys, making spinning signs, and hopefully having time that we can build a robot that you will be able to program to move about freely. The other Project Lead the Way course that we do is Computer Science Innovators and Makers, in which you will be programming a small microcontroller to have scrolling messages, flashing signs. We use them to create alarm systems. Second semester, we'll do physical science, focusing on Newton's 3 laws. We will do earth science, focusing on plant and animal cells and body systems. And earth science, we will be working on the water cycle. For those of you taking 8th grade science, we will be doing Project Lead the Way in the fall. We will do Energy in the Environment, where we will focus on global climate and alternative energies. We will also complete App Creators, where we will be using computer programming and the tablets for you to create your own app. Second semester, we will work on physical science, where we will focus on the periodic table. Life science, we will be talking about inherited traits, what you got from your parents. And in earth science, we'll be talking about the atmosphere, what makes the earth livable for humans.
Hi, I'm Mrs. McPherson and I teach senior English. So that is a class that will fulfill your English requirements because you have to have 2 credits a year. We read some books. You get to pick some of your own books to read. We write a couple papers. We do some grammar stuff that I feel is necessary for your last English class before you get out of here. We do resumes and cover letters and talk about things like that too. So hopefully you'll find that beneficial. I also teach Avid 10, which if you're in the Avid program, that's the 10th grade year. And then I also teach 8th grade English, which, everyone has to take. As far as senior English goes, you will probably take that unless you choose to take the IU English options with Mrs. Wombo. Otherwise, you would probably have General English 12 with me. So.
Hi Union City, I'm Miss Wombo and I teach English here at the high school. Next year we have a couple of classes that are very exciting. First of all, next year seniors, you have the opportunity to take IU Composition. IU Composition counts as a dual credit class. So if you want to get your 100 level, basic level writing class out of the way for college, if you are a college bound student, or maybe you're thinking at some point in your life you would like to take a college class, everybody has to take the 100 level, very basic college writing class. So I teach that here at Union City. You can take it with me. You can knock it out of the way, and then you can transfer that credit to college, and you would already be ahead of the game. So I will teach you all the basic writing skills you need for college level writing. Sometimes people don't sign up for the class because they say, well, I'm not good at writing. Well, that's why you sign up for a writing class, right? So we're going to teach you how to improve your writing so that you'll be ready for whatever is next. The other IU class that I teach is IU Literature. So in the fall, you can take IU Composition, and then in the spring, you can take IU Literature. So what we do in IU Literature is we take all the great skills that we learned in IU Composition, and we read plays and novels and poems, and then we do lots of writing about those kinds of things in books. So we take everything that we learn in first semester and we kind of apply it and continue to practice it. So you can get college credit for that class as well. So you would have 2 English classes done and ready to go by the time that you get to a college campus. Additionally, next year, seniors, Ms. Adelsberger might talk about this, but you can also sign up for IU Speech, which is another English credit. And it doesn't matter, you have to have eight credits for English before you graduate, but you can have more than that. So you have lots of freedom your junior and senior year. You can take a lot of fun classes around here. So seniors, I would ask you to consider taking your IU Speech, IU Comp, and IU Lit and get all of those out of the way. And we'll have lots of fun. We'll make sure that you feel really strong with all your English capabilities when you get to a college campus. I also teach etymology. A lot of people don't know what etymology is. Etymology is the study of words. We have a lot of fun in there. We learn lots of prefixes, suffixes, and root words so that when you go out into the world and you see a word that looks new to you, then you know how to break it down and figure out what it means. We also talk about the history of language and how our language came to be, which doesn't sound like it's very fun, but it's actually very interesting. We talk about different idioms and lingo and slang and how all of that has come to happen. We like to connect it to different languages, especially Spanish. So we have a good time in etymology, kind of messing around with letters and words and learning English and about our English language in a different way than some of our other English classes that you are used to taking. So those are the classes that you might be interested in signing up for that I will teach next year. So I hope I will see you in my classroom.
My name is Miss Kai. I teach 10th grade English and 10 honors. Some of the novels that we read in there are Julius Caesar by Shakespeare, which is a play, and we read Monster by Walter Dean Myers. We read several short stories like The Cask of Amontillado, The Necklace, and we read poetry. We do a lot of nonfiction, which includes informational text, essays, articles, and speeches. We do a variety of writing such as narrative, argumentative, persuasive, research, and we also focus on grammar and mechanics. Each quarter you are expected to do a book report, so there is reading that is involved. However, if you join book club, I exempt you each quarter from the book report if you join it. Also, and this is something new, if you meet your your growth points for NWEA testing, I exempt you from the quarterly book report as well. So.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Adelsberger, and I wanted to give you just a little bit of information about some of the courses that I teach here at the high school, so you are better informed of some of your choices that you have here. So I am the freshman English teacher, so if you are a freshman, you will have me as your teacher. And I offer regular freshman English, and then I also have an honors course, Honors English 9. So it is your standard English class. As you work through your academic career, English gets a little bit more in depth, a little bit more rigorous. And so, we do the standard reading, writing, short stories, nonfiction, just your standard English class, work on vocabulary, work on research skills, do project-based learning, and then our honors class is just a step above with some of the same content, but a little bit more extension activities, a little bit more rigorous work. So that's English 9. I also teach IU speech from Indiana University. So if you are a senior and you would like to take a dual credit course, I highly encourage you to take IU speech. We do 4 major speeches during the year. We learn about the importance of good research to back up your claims, and you also learn skills in just being self-confident, being able to look at different viewpoints, and in a mature way share those viewpoints for others to hear. So IU speech, English 9, Honors 9. I also teach student media, which this is a fairly new course here at the high school. This is the second year that we've had it, and it's grown into something that's actually pretty large for this semester. I have almost 20 students. So in that course, we work on our school yearbook, the K.I.S.S, but we also branch out, and this is something new that we've done because I have so many students and not all of them can work on the yearbook at the same time, but we do the yearbook. We started a school newspaper called The Arrow. We have a video team that's creating videos for the yearbook and for the newspaper. We work with photography, so we do all things that involve student media, writing, research, video work, photography. So it's actually a class that I've learned to really enjoy and love to teach. So let's see, what else do I do? Theater arts. I do theater arts, and it is a 1-semester course. If you do not enjoy getting up in front of people and performing, because it is a performance-based class, it may not be the class for you, but I highly encourage you to give it a shot, because sometimes I get some of the quietest students in that class who at the end of the semester are thankful that they took the class because they've learned a little bit more self-confidence. So in theater arts, we study plays, we do skits, we do a music video, we do just a lot of things. We learn about headshots and auditions and the acting world. If you ever wanted to go out and actually be an actor, I teach you about how to go out on an audition and what casting calls are like and things like that. So we do a lot of different things in theater arts. So that's a 1-semester elective. So just to kind of recap, English 9, Honors 9, Student Media, IU Speech, and Theater Arts. Those are the classes that I am honored to teach here at Union City. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.
Hi, this is Mrs. Sutter. I am with the math department. So to tell you a little bit about your math requirements for scheduling, all students have to complete Algebra 1, Geometry, and then Algebra 2. After that, you have some choices. If you are purely college bound and you know that you want to go to a 4-year college or university, pre-calc is probably your next step, and then after that, either calc or stats. If you are a senior and you need one math course after that, maybe, and you're still college bound, either pre-calc or stats or maybe finite. If you are looking for something completely different math-wise, statistics is the best one. It gets you the use of how we find all the numbers that we use to back up all of our debate numbers and arguments, and how we can win versus lose arguments with numbers, and finish off experiments also. If you are college bound but not anything medical or business related, finite's a pretty nice place to be. It's kind of a nice stepping ground between Algebra 2 and pre-calc. So if you're still thinking you're college bound, maybe a 2-year school, that might be a nice place to kind of keep your math skills up, but yet not as rigorous of a requirement as pre-calc. So if you have any questions, please feel free to see me, because they're kind of weird classes to know what they are. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Marker, the art teacher, junior senior high school. I'm going to talk a little bit about the art classes that we offer. We offer Intro to 2D, Intro to 3D. We also offer sculpture, painting, and sometimes we do ceramics classes, art history. There are different opportunities. Sometimes we look at 2D and 3D as being intro to being your basic prereqs before you go into the next classes. But sometimes if it doesn't work out with the schedule, I can talk to the individual and we can work something out with your schedule so you can try out a class with art. If you're interested in taking an art class, please get with myself or the guidance office, and we'll see what we can do to fit it into your schedule.
Shirley, I just want to briefly talk to you about our class offerings for band and choir for next year. First off, all the groups, band and choir both, they each have a concert in the Christmas time over before holiday break, and then we have one in the spring. All groups are also eligible to be in the all district honor bands, and there are district honor choirs, things like that. That's things I'll talk to you about when we start class. Solo and ensemble also takes place in the springtime, usually end of January into February, which is also something that is extra, and I will talk to you about that as well. But I encourage all of the groups, all the students in both of the groups, to participate in all these. Now, as far as the class offerings themselves, COVID didn't do us any favor these past couple of years, so our numbers are down a little bit in the 7th and 8th grade bands coming into high school. But this year, we do have our 7th grade band and our 8th grade band, which they do meet as a class. Students do get a locker to store their instrument during the school day. And then obviously we rehearse during the school day as well, and those students also participate in the activities, the events that I just mentioned about as far as the district honor bands and solo and ensemble, and our 2 concerts a year as well. So this is a curricular class that we do get a grade for. So we participate and do these things, and then students also move from book 1 hopefully into book 2 from 7th grade into 8th grade. And then obviously the 8th graders move up into high school band, which is yet another class. And again, it participates in all those things, with the addition of the high school band participates and performs at the football games and the basketball games as a pep band as well. We do have also participate in organizational contests as a group in the spring, which we've done the past few years and received gold ratings and done a really good job with that. Typically, I also have the middle school band and or the high school band sometimes help me with recruiting in the spring when it comes to talking to the 5th graders about signing up for band. And we've also been doing some other things with the choir to build up the interest and get the numbers back up that unfortunately we lost due to COVID. So we've been working with Miss Sprunger, the elementary music teacher, and doing some performances down there as well. So the choir this year and going into next year is just one class, which is a curricular class. You get a grade for that as well. And then they do the same thing as a holiday and a spring concert and solo and ensemble, as well as hopefully this year we're looking at doing organizational contests as a group. So again, if you're interested in singing, things like that, there's no prerequisite for being in choir. Just typically I'll sit down with you one-on-one and kind of test your voice range and see where you fit into that group. But to be in band, typically you need to be in 7th grade band to be in 8th grade, and 8th to be in high school. Not that I haven't had students join in high school or in 8th grade, but just that's something you'll need to come and talk to me on a one-on-one basis, and we'll figure out what instrument would be best for you. So if you're interested in being in the band or the choir, I'd love to have you. We have a lot of fun down here. We work hard, but we have a lot of fun. So if you're interested, just come and see me. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mr. Root, and I'm here to talk about elective phys ed and also summer PE. Elective phys ed is a morning class before school where you can come in and work out in the weight room, get stronger for sports, or just general health. Summer PE is our alternative that you can take in the summer. We do a lot of fun things. We went to Top Golf, Sky Zone, went to the swimming pool, and we also went to a couple places to go hiking. So it's a great alternative if you're not wanting to take summer, not take physical education during the school year.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Elliott, and I teach beginning ESL as well as levels 1, 2, and 3 of Spanish. ESL is exactly that. It is beginning English language skills for newcomers, and Spanish is leveled courses that begin in Spanish 1 that I use comprehensible input in. So right from the beginning, you start hearing Spanish and using Spanish, and then that compounds as you go on into level 2 and then furthermore into level 3. And I enjoy supplementing those units with a program called Senor Wooly, which uses video games, music videos, and stories to aid students in language acquisition, as well as a program called Garbanzo, which is similar, that uses language acquisition skills through storytelling. And they both give their own assessments and progress, so kids always know where they're at and what their scores and grades are in that program. And that sums it up. Thank you.
All right, well, first of all, I'm Miss Keel, and I am part of the business department here at Union City, and I'm here today to talk to you about the classes that we offer. So, our first class that starts our pathway is Principles of Business. You would enroll that in that class your freshman or sophomore year. All right, then, after that, you can take, there's two choices here. You can take Principles of Marketing to start the marketing and sales pathway, which can be taken during your sophomore, junior, or senior year. Then we have Digital Marketing, and then we have the capstone course, which is Apache and Teepee. Now let me go back to those. So in the Principles of Business class, we learn a lot about just the basics of business, types of economic systems and types of businesses, and we learn about like a little bit of dabs of like human resource and accounting. Then when we get into marketing, we learn about target markets and how to get people to come to your business and how, like what products you offer and how to price them, how to promote them, and some selling. Then in digital marketing, which will be a new class next year because we haven't had it yet because of the new pathways, digital marketing is going to be all with our electronic billboards and even social media and anything on the internet because as you know, lots of things have gone digital. So that advertising that's on Netflix if you pay for it, those little ads that are on Facebook, all of those things. So then we go to, that was digital marketing, and then of course Apache and Teepee where we screen print or we run the snack shop. Please remember, it looks like next year we will be uptown for Apache, so that will be exciting. Our other pathway that I want to share with you that I need to bring up is our business administration pathway. So you still start with the Principles of Business class, get a little dab of each thing. Then we go to Management Fundamentals. That will be a new class next year also, teaching you how to be a manager, whether you're a shift manager, front-end manager, whether you're a general manager, just some management tips and tricks and how to be a good manager, what does it take to be a manager. Then, accounting. Now, accounting is a class that we are going to offer. The accounting fundamentals class can be done different ways. Number one, if we have enough kids, we'll have a full class of it in the seats. We may also do it as a hybrid class where we only meet one day a week, or we can do it as an independent study An independent study is where you might have an open class period and you need to fit in accounting. So that is the third class, and then of course the business administration into our Apache and TP. So if you want to learn more about the business pathways, come see me. And as you know, part of being in the business pathway is being part of the great organization of DECA.
Hi, this is Mrs. Nunez, and I'm here with Mrs. Schwederman, and we are going to go over the agriculture courses that Union City Junior Senior High School is going to offer in the 2023-2024 school year. So we have it broken down into the pathway. So you'll start with a principles class, then a concentrator A, a concentrator B, followed by a capstone class. So first up, we have principles of agriculture, where you get to dabble into the different aspects of agriculture, whether you're looking into ag power, animal science, plant and soil science, or food science.
For the first concentrator A, you're looking at ag power, which you're going to dabble into different woodworking opportunities, welding, small engines.
Then animal science, you cover the areas of animal science. This semester we've talked about animal domestication, animal welfare, animal housing, and just overall what animals need, and then next semester we'll focus a lot more into their nutrition.
For plant and soil science, it's split up between semester 1 for soil, the other will be plants. You're learning then how those both combine to help agriculture as a whole and to feed our growing population. For concentrator B, you're going to do ag structures, fabrication, and design. You're dabbling more into your own projects and doing more technical things with woodworking, electricity, doing more with welding, and learning more about the different welds available.
Advanced life science, or ALS animals. This is an advanced version of animal science. We try to look at more of the molecular level in the beginning, so looking at cells, organelles, and then a lot of the different systems in animals, so like the reproductive system, the digestive system, and then also looking at diseases and overall animal science.
For advanced life, plant and soil science, you're getting, again, it's just more an advanced course of plant and soil science, still looking at more of that molecular level of the plants and the soil, but we're then getting more into figuring out genetics and how we can advance the genetics of plants and soil to build better, or to make better crops.
Food science and advanced life science, ALS foods. So ideally, food science is your introductory level, and you can learn a lot of the basic food science, looking into the chemistry and how different properties are, why we have the foods that we have, based on reactions. And then advanced life science, ALS foods. Ideally, that's your second year of food science, and we can get to explore and be in the kitchen even more with a lot more creativity.
So then for agribusiness, you're going off of how to run an ag business in a proper way to make money, and going off of what different businesses will help support the ag industry.
And those are your ag classes.
My name is Miss Likens, and I teach radio and television. Radio and television is one of the pathways that we offer here at the high school. The first class that you have to take in the pathway is called Principles of Broadcasting. In this class, we go over terms and definitions that go over the basics of broadcasting. We also scratch the surface on some of the equipment that we have here in the studio, and then you will get to do some hands-on learning with cameras and some of the equipment in the studio. As you continue the pathway, you will learn more about the things that we have here in the studio. The second class is called Audio and Video. In this class, you will learn about the skills that it takes to do audio and video production. So we will dig into how to do podcasts and how to create videos from start to finish. So you have a little bit more freedom in this class to kind of do your own projects. So if you find that you really like to do podcasts, you can make podcasts by yourself, with your friends, And then same with videos. If you have a video idea that you want to do, you can work on that and create a video from start to finish and edit it and produce that video in that class. The next class in the pathway is called Mass Media Production. This class is where you learn everything in the studio from top to bottom. So you will learn how to read on camera, how to write a script, how to run a teleprompter, how to run the TriCaster, how to edit, and then you will use all of those skills together and create your own newscast in that class. We create the Indian beat out of that class. And then the final course in the pathway is the capstone. So this is for the upper level kids, so they can use this kind of as an independent study. So you can do semester projects. You really kind of find what you enjoy doing by this point in the pathway. So if you find you really like editing, you can edit every day in here. If you want to create a video of your choice from start to finish, you can record and then you can edit and then create your video in that class. You kind of have a lot of freedom in this class to create what you like to do and use your own creativity in your own ways. If you have any questions about any of these courses, come see me.
Union City Junior Senior High School has two technology pathway options. We have computer science, which if you enjoyed working with the robots for real world type computer interaction, if you enjoyed making apps with Mrs. Brandstetter, and then also looking at making computers do more than just crunch numbers. If you are interested in designing video games or writing software or any of those needs, the computer science strand is more what you'd be looking for. It also offers 2 college credit options as you move further, and we also dive into cybersecurity. One of the fun things of cybersecurity is it's all designed around the idea of being cyber detective. It sets up a diamond heist for part of it. You have to go through the computer forensic evidence and look at what may have happened, how vulnerabilities occurred, and the way those were exploited to acquire the diamond that was stolen. The cybersecurity field is huge and growing, and the needs are far outmatching the number of people moving into the field. As well as computer science, this is the same situation. The needs in those fields are far outreaching the number of people going into it. So employment options for those fields in the future are very solid, and salaries are increasing much faster than they are in other fields. The information technology path is similar in some ways, only we spend a little more time with the physical part. We get in and tear apart a computer and figure out how the insides work. We work on various parts of networking and see how the computer systems run our everyday world. We look at databases and things like that are all kind of hanging out in the background that run social media, various different apps, and all the things we use from day to day. So if any of those things are interesting to you, come join us.
Hey everyone, we had a couple of new classes this year that we want to add to the course offerings. So as you're getting ready to schedule, these are 2 new classes that we've never offered before. What we've decided to do is just put them out to you and see if anyone's interested in them. And if not, that's okay. But if someone is interested in them, we have enough people, these are some other classes that we might be able to offer. So one of them, I'm very excited about both of them, but one of them, we had a focus group a few months ago with a group of students, and they indicated to us that students who are taking dual credit classes often have a lot of extra homework to do, and a lot of them work or they're involved in sports or theater or have other clubs or family obligations, and they said they wish that they had a class where they could get a little more support in those. So next year we will be offering something that we'll kind of call an ACP study hall. ACP is the dual credit program. So if you sign up to take a dual credit class, if you are signed up to take IU chemistry or IU composition or IU history or IU speech, or even some of Ms. Keel's classes or the ag classes that run through Ivy Tech, you can sign up for the study hall. I'm sure Mr. Davison has a nicer name for it that he will tell you about when it's time to schedule. But that way it'll just be students who are taking college level classes. So it will be a quiet room, or you guys can get together and work on homework together, or if you have projects or something like that, you can do that as well. And so you can just do that right in the class. So that way we want to find a way to support you if you need some extra help, if you're taking IU pre-calc or calculus or something that you just need a little extra support, we want to be able to give you that. So if you would like to sign up for the dual credit or ACP study hall, that might be something you would like to use your time for. So that would be mostly juniors and seniors. Secondly, the other class is we have recently discovered that we are able to offer another pathway. So I know some of you have been thinking a lot about your pathways, and you can do a K.I.S.S pathway, a business pathway, an ag pathway. We're working on an art pathway, but now we would like to offer an education pathway. So the state says that we can help you guys who are interested in becoming teachers by giving you some courses throughout the school day to help you learn to be a teacher. So it would be an education professions pathway. We are going to offer the very first class in the sequence next year. This is a class that could be taught by anybody in this building because we all have teaching degrees. So if you are interested in maybe starting the class, it's going to be called Principles of Teaching, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what goes into being a teacher, what the career is like, how to make lessons, how to work with kids, and I'm sure and certain that you will have tons of projects where you will be working with students and building some lessons and getting to know more about what it's like to be a teacher. So if you're interested in the education pathway, or even if you're just interested in taking the class to see what teaching is really like behind the scenes, then you might want to sign up for Principles of Teaching. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here to talk about the engineering pathway and programs we have at Union City Junior Senior High School. The first course is our Introduction to Engineering, or IED course. You deal with 3D modeling in there. You get to use 3D printers. You get to redesign a project you take apart and then remodel it on the computer and enhance it and make it better. The second course is called Principles of Engineering. Basically in there that you're dealing with the different mechanisms of gears and pulleys and levers. There's electronics in there. You get to build a bridge in there and test trusses and see how much weight a bridge can hold and how structurally sound it is. And all this is done with partners. Again, you get to use the 3D printers in there, and then other software and engineering equipment that we have. And then the next course that we'll be offering this coming year is called Computer Integrated Manufacturing. It's part of everyday life in the industry. You get to use robotics, design products, replicate those, and then put them through like a factory assembly line. There will be a small CNC mill in there, or benchtop mill, that you get to make different parts and products on. All these courses then can be transferred through Ivy Tech, or Purdue Polytech in Richmond, or across the state, where then you can get different certifications in industrial engineering or human resource management leadership, or get a job as a supervisor in a factory making different parts with robotics and technology.